anything from there, that page, which when you check the answers on the back, you were like, huh? Or, of course, there is the chance that nobody did any of it because I didn't actually say it was homework, which is odd. Well, I did, but of course, because it doesn't count for marks, most kids don't bother doing it. Addison.
Can you do 4B?
4B. Yes, I can. 4B is 81 to the 0.25. What do I feel about that? Bleh. Yes, Garcia? Right, absolutely. 0.25 is 1/4. So that is 81 to the 1/4. Where does that denominator go? To the index. Where does that base go? To the radicand. And do I need to write that power of 1? No. Then I just break down the radicand like I do always. That is, of course, 9 and 9, and 3, 3, 3, 3. There is my group of 4. So out comes a 3. I left nothing under there, so the answer is 3. Yeah? What could this be? That's a squeaky, rumbly computer card. Anything else from page 40? And of course, I remind you, this is where you get good. The notes are where you learn what to do. This is where you get good. Because I do not have enough class time to do, well, I do have enough class time to do 80 minutes solid of notes. But knowing teenagers like I know teenagers, you guys can barely listen to me for 8 seconds because Animal's already using his phone. Can barely listen to me for 8 seconds, let alone 80 minutes. He's going to leave it in his lap because he thinks I'm not going to see it. He's not going to put it in his pocket like he should, so I don't have to take it away from him if I see him playing on it again. There you go. First try, Lego Batman. Nice job. So, any other questions from page 40? Going once. Going twice. Jaden, hit me. 8A. I bet I can do 8A because I'm a pretty smart guy. Write each power as a radical. So 4 2/3. 4 to the 2/3. That's a power, right? I want it as a radical, so I got to get that sign into it somewhere. Where does that go? Index. Once I have an index, I can put that sign in. What goes here? 4. Now, I have some choices. I could write it like that. I could write it like that. And I could write it like that. And I could write it like... Oh. Are all 4 of those right? The instructions specifically say write it as a radical, yes? So are all of those radicals? Yeah. What is the best answer you see there? Is it A, B, C, or D? Because they're all right. What is the best answer, Pardeep? B? Addison? C? Jaden? C? It's like Kahoot. How many people vote for C? You should vote for D. Right? Because 16 breaks down into 8 times 2. What's the cube root of 8? 2. And what did I leave under there? 2. Now, on a quiz or in your homework or on an assignment, I'm going to be very generous with credit, yes? Because that's practice time. On a test, I get into a little bit of a different situation. Because A, B, C are not wrong, so I couldn't give you, for example, 0 out of 4, could I? Right? I couldn't, because those are all correct. But which one shows me the most understanding of math? D, which is why D would get 4 out of 4. A and B show me that you have minimally met my expectations. You have taken the Denominator, moved it to the index. Taken the numerator, moved it to the power. That's the minimum amount of math you can show there, yes? So that's why these guys would get 2. This guy would get 3. If it was written that way. Does everybody understand? Now you're going to notice me talking a lot about this over the next few days. How I would mark a question like this. Why is that? Because what's coming up for you? Your first test. Not a quiz that you mark yourselves, a test that I mark. Everybody with me? Addison.
So if D is like the most complex answer and shows like the most math, is that what we want to show on a test? Or
Yes.
do we want to show like the simplest form of a question on the test?
Well, that is the simplest form, is it not?
To me, it's really like complicated, and that C would be the simplest form to write it and the easiest to comprehend.
Okay, but then I would ask you this. Is that the simplest form of that fraction?
No.
What makes it simpler?
Divisible by 5.
Smaller numbers, right? So, where was I? There? Yeah. So what traditionally, all the way through math, has been used as the barometer of when something is simple? The smallest numbers you can get showing, right? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Smallest numbers you can write is the simplest form you can write. Okay? Everybody cool? Now, the only reason I have to do this is because my bosses are changing the way you people are being assessed. Right? I don't agree with the way they're changing it, but there's no real good way to assess you anyway. I just don't like this new way. But I didn't like the old way either. It's like a sideways move. I don't really like either of them. Yeah? But I gotta assess you somehow. So, I mean, at least in this one, you can still come away with a decent grade doing almost all the work, right? Like, since I still have to give you an actual grade this year, you'd still walk away with a high B, low A if you did everything at the C level, or at the 3 out of 4 level, right? Like, you'd say, 3 out of 4, that's 75%, but not really, yeah? Because it's not on a percentage scale, right? It's how much I feel you have shown me of math. You picking up what I'm putting down? You'll get it more when I actually mark one of your tests. Now, the problem with it is when I mark your test, you show me all this work, right? And I just circle that and put a little question mark. You're like, what do I need to do there? You picking up what I'm putting down? Because it's all right. You're like, what would I change? That's the right answer. And that's when you got to ask me, say, hey, why didn't I get the 4 here? Right? Which you will also see when we do a test the next day, because I mark it the day you write it. I'm very efficient. The next day you will get it back, and I will project it on the screen, and we will go through the whole test. You can make corrections to it, and then I get to keep your test because I get to keep your test. And if you ever want to look at it again before a cumulative exam or something, you would just come and look at it, and you'd have all the right answers there, and you'd have corrected it out. Right? Everybody cool? All right. Anything else from page 40? Going once. Party.
Can you do 11A?
11A. I bet I can because I'm a pretty smart guy. Right, each radical is a power. 3.8 to the third under a root. What number should be there? 2. Okay. So, what does the radicand become? Well, when I had this, you all knew what the base became. What does this become? That becomes the radicand. So now I'm going the other way. So what does this become? The base, 3.8, to what power? 3 over 2. Index becomes the denominator. Okay? Now, again, if you check in the answers, they are showing the decimal as staying there, right? Right? And that's okay. I got no problem with that. Right? I also got no problem if you do this version of it, 1.5, because 3 halves is 1.5, whatever, fine. I mean, you should know that I hate decimals, but this is still technically right. Now, could you take this further? Now, this is another weird situation, because I would argue for you that one of these two appears the simplest answer, yes? But you might say, oh, Mr. Myers hates fractions or decimals, so you might go crazy. You might say 38 over 10 to the 3 halves. You might do that because that is 3.8, right? You might do that just because you're like, oh, I remember he hates fractions. All right? Thank you. He hates decimals, right? But I would accept them both. How I try to mitigate that confusion like this is I do a question like this in the multiple choice part, right? So there wouldn't be any of this confusion. Everybody understand? Okay. Anything else from here? Addison.
So do we get to do corrections on our tests?
No. No. You get a cumulative test every 2 units.
Okay. Sweet. Okay.
Friday is a good day to explain this. I might as well explain it because you're all going to ask me constantly. Your first test's out of 40. Say you get 30. That's 75%. You get a B, right? Your second test might be out of 27. You get 24, which is 8 out of 9, like 90%. Agreed? After 2 tests, I'm going to give you a cumulative. That cumulative, say it's out of 50. 25 marks on there will be from Unit 1. 25 marks will be from Unit 2. Everybody still with me? On the Unit 1 part, you get 22 out of 25, which is, of course, you all know because you're in the 10th grade, 88%, right? So now you have showed me that you have learned more math, and now you show me that your abilities in Unit 1, which is exponents and radicals, are now at an 88%. So what am I going to do with this? I'm going to make it 88%. So on check my mark, what will happen is I will go 40 times 0.88, which is 35.2, and I will change this mark on check my progress to 35. And then I'll put a little asterisk by it, which means you improved on your cumulative. Everybody with me? Don't ask yet. I'm going to explain the whole thing and your question will be answered. On Unit 2, however, you get 20 out of 25, which is 80%. Now, in actuality, what should I do to this grade? I should drop it, shouldn't I? Do I? No, because my Grinchy heart is 2 sizes too big. I let you keep the better mark. Now, that means you got 42 out of 50, which is 84%. That mark is treated like a quiz. It doesn't affect your grade up or down. Everybody good? So those cumulatives are nothing to be scared of. What they are is a test you get to keep with test level questions that you can have, because you don't get to keep your unit tests. Everybody good? All right. Now, you're all going to ask me about this again. When I hand out the cumulative, 5 of you are going to go, does this count for marks? And I'm going to have to explain this again. I'm going to hand it back to you. 5 of you are going to go, does this count for marks? And then you're going to check my progress. You say, why do I have a little star by my number on check my progress? I'm going to have to explain this all again after we do the first cumulative. Then we're going to do a second cumulative, and guess what I'm going to have to do? Explain it all again. Then we'll do a third cumulative, and guess what I'll have to do? Explain it all again. But that's okay, I don't mind. Gersil, how did I possibly not answer your question?
So for the final exam, do you just...
No, the final stands alone. You've had all the chances you can get. The entire final is a cumulative. You've had 2 cracks at every unit. Final stands alone.
Like if you do
No. Addison.
How much percent is the final exam?
20%.
So what do you need?
No. That's like saying, I need to score 1 goal to win this hockey game. So as soon as we score 1 goal, we're up 1-0. I'm not going to try anymore. Right? How many goals do you want to score in your hockey game? As many as you can. How many runs do you want to get in the baseball game? As many as you can. How many goals do you want to score in the soccer game? If you're actually playing soccer, not playing 5-year-old soccer, where every game's a tie and nobody keeps score. In real soccer, how many goals do you want? As many as you can. So, what do you need before you go into your final? The best mark you can possibly get. Because why on earth would you shoot for the lowest mark you could get? Right? What salary do you want when you grow up? How much money do you want to be paid a year? Is your answer really just enough to have a house and food on the table? Is that your answer? No, of course not. That's all you need, so that's all you should be shooting for, right? But does anybody stop at a house and food on the table? No, because you need 4 skidoos, 3 quads, a boat, a vacation every year, right? We don't stop at what we need. We go to what we want. So what do you want going into your final? 100%.
I think that's what it was last year. Okay, 68. 100%.
There you go. Any other questions that I will answer, but also do one of those funny little bits where it goes on for a while? You will hear the answer hidden in there somewhere. We all good? All right. Let us then, cabbages, go to page 43. Let us, then, cabbages. 42. Did I say 22? I thought I said 43, but we need 42. Now, every single question on page 42 and 43 is harder than what you would have on your test. Why? Because if you practice harder than the game, you then find the game easy. All right? Do these count for marks? No. So is there anything to be stressed about? No. So can you try it and not be worried if you screw it up? Yes. Of course you can. Let's try it. Looking at number 1, what's weird about it? What bothers us? It's decimals. But aren't those decimals exactly the same? So isn't this the exact same as x to the negative 3 times x to the 5th? And what would I do with those exponents? Add them to get what? You would get x squared, right? But this is not x squared. It's going to be 0.3 squared. Now, you're intelligent young people. Can you do this? Yes. You can't do this. This is done because you don't know what x is. But you know what that is? Yes. What is it? Add a 0. 0.09. Why is it 0.09? Because when you're multiplying decimals, you need all those decimal points, don't you? You could look at it 2 ways. You could say to yourself, that is 0.3 times 0.3, which gets me 9, but I need 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, 1, 2. That's if you're using decimals. Now, it's a good thing I ate a small lunch, because that many decimals on a page is already making my tummy go a little, because I hate decimals. Of course, the real reason it's 0.09 is because this is 3/10, yes? And 3/10 squared is 3 squared over 10 squared, which is 9 over 100, which is 0.09. Right? Of course. Now, if it was a calculator test where I was allowing you to use your calculator, could you go straight from there to there? Your calculator would do the work for you, yes? Now, you're in the 10th grade. What was this unit's goal? Was it multiplication, or was it to teach you about exponents and radicals? It was exponents and radicals. So if you showed me that, and then jumped straight to calculator, would I be okay with that? Yeah, because this is the exponent law part of it. Does everybody understand? All right. Does this look scary? Be honest, of course. It looks utterly frightening, doesn't it? But what do you notice there and there? They're the same. So what can I write instead of that freaky fraction? I could put an x. X to the negative 4 squared and x to the 2 cubed. Okay, what do I do over brackets? So I got x to the negative 8 and I got x to the 6. Now what? To get x to the what? Negative 2. And now I would stop, right? Because what does a negative do to this x, which is really x over 1? What does it do? It flips it so it becomes 1 over x to the positive 2, right? So since it flipped this fraction, what's it going to do to this fraction? Flip it. So it was negative 3 over 2 to the negative 2. What does it become? 2 over 3. Does this negative stay there? Yes. Does this negative stay there? No. What is negative 2 squared? He waited patiently for his 10th grade class to tell him what negative 2 times negative 2 is. Positive 4. And what is 3 squared? 9. And I'd be done. Does everybody see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how yucky it looks. We always know what to do, right? Number 3, barftastic. But is it really? No, because what is it really? X cubed times x to the 4th over x to the negative 2. What does that negative 2 do? Where could I move that? To the top. So really, I have x3, x4, and x squared, which gets me what? X to the 9th. But it's not x. What is it really? 1.4 to the 9th. Can you leave it that way? I'm perfectly happy with that, because what was the point of this unit? To show me those exponents. To go any further than that just shows me you know how to use your calculator. And do I already know that you know how to use your calculator? Of course I know that, because when I ask you guys what 32 plus 16 is, you all go to your calculator. Right? What's 32 plus 16? All right. Barf, number 4. What's weird? What's weird? The fraction and the exponents, right? But the bases are all the same, aren't they? So the exponents work easily. What do I need to do down there with that exponent, with 1/3 and 5/3? Add them. Well, what's 1/3 and 5/3? 6/3. We would never say 6/3. What's that really? 7 squared. And on top, I had 7 to the 2/3. My pen is dying. You can quite plainly see that. I really don't want to reset the whole computer and have to upload 2 videos. So I'm going to talk a little while and hope it sorts itself out. What are you going to do here? What math do we do with those exponents? We subtract, right? So all of you went 6/3 to 2, and that's okay, right? Because that's what you want to do. You want to get rid of those fractions. But I had 2/3 minus 6/3, didn't I? To get negative 4/3, yeah? So what did I really have? I had 7 to the negative 4/3. Oh, it might be fixing itself. And what does that do? Flips to become 1 over 7 to the positive 4/3. Now, again, is that done? I'll change the instructions. give me this answer as a power. Is it done? Yes. What if I said, is there anything else you could do with this? What could I do with this? We just learned it yesterday. That's 1 over what? Where does the denominator go? Index. Where does the base go? Radicand. Where does the power go? Outside. I would accept both of those because both of those show me everything you could possibly know about these questions, right? And why would you ever not want to show everything you know? Yeah? Okay. 5 and 6, go ahead, do them on your own because you're obviously getting sick of my voice because people are starting to, eyes are glazing over. You do those 2 on your own. Go. You can talk to your neighbor if you need to. I'll be putting the right answers up here. Would anybody like to tell me their answer to 5? Jacqueline. Okay, that is, I would give that 2 out of 4 because what's not allowed? The negative 2. So where does that y negative 2 need to go? In the denominator, and what will happen to the negative 2? It'll be a positive 2. Nice job. Good. Would anybody like to give me their answer to number 6? 6 is a little snaky. Pardeep. 2a to the 5th. Absolutely right. Yay! Yay! Okay. Anything weird about 43? Or, sorry, number 7? Looks weird, but it isn't, is it? What do you do with the negative 3 and the negative 5? Whoa! This negative 3 and negative 5. Multiply them to get 1.5 to the what? Positive 15 over 1.5 to the 5. What's going to happen to these 5? What's going to happen to these 5? They're going to cancel out. Why? Because I got 15 up there and 5 down there. So I'm going to lose 5 of these. So what am I going to end up with? 1.5 to the 10th. All right. Number 8 is really weird. Until you stop and think about it for a sec. If this exponent out here was just a regular number, what would we do with it? Yeah, we'd put it to everything inside, right? So this 8 would get a 1/3. We know what that is. What's that?
The denominator is the index.
Right. Do we know the cube root of 8? 2. Addison. Okay. Now, here's where, again, remember how I said you got to bring more and more stuff from back in the day into math now? Like up to grade 10, it was fairly okay to forget a lot of stuff, right? Can't do that anymore. How do I multiply 1/3 times 3? Yersil? 3 over 1, and I end up with 3 over 3, which is 1. So I have a to the 1. But do I write 1? No. Then what? What do I do for b? Same thing. It's 1/3 times what? Which is? So what do I write? 2. So now all of you should be able to handle 9 now, right? Go. And I'm about to shut up, and then we'll play some games.
Yay.
Oh, I'm kind of a liar.
Oh. Wow.
I got to do 11 and 12. I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'm only going to do 11, and I'm going to offer a gummy bear prize to anybody who can do 12. Don't all start doing 12 now. I've been a kid before. Don't all start doing 12. Okay, dude. You're in the wrong room.
What? Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Have a nice day.
Did I say do 9 and 10 or just 9? 9, because 10's crazy. 10 is far and away the hardest math question that you have done this year for me. Of course I'm going to show you how to do 9. When have I ever said, do this without me showing you how to do it? Garza Hill, that hurts, man. One of my cahoots today is get to know your math teacher. Yes, I made it. I would like to see how many of you have paid attention to 3 weeks of me talking about stuff that isn't math. Huh? Yeah. What? I'm interested to see. No. Because there's not enough choice in Kahoot, because I've played every position on the field at one point or another. Even lock. They let me play lock in one game for about 5 minutes so I could complete my set. That's the only reason they did it.
Did you do any scrums?
Yeah, we did a scrum. We did a line out. I was fine. All right.
Did you get boosted?
I've been boosted many times, but even though I'm short, it's because I jump. I've got a decent vertical for an old fat man. So they lift. I get pretty high up there, even though I'm short, and I've got very good hands. Huh? I don't know. No. I know who Muggsy Bogues is. I know he is. So is Spud Webb. No, of course not. All right. So everybody sees how this one works. If you don't, of course, you can see it in bit by bit. Everybody should be able to explain why 4 over 2 is 2. Right? Now, what have I done with B? Well, I split it up, and I had a to the negative 2 over a squared. Well, one of those isn't allowed. Which one isn't allowed? Negative 2. So that negative 2 has to go down here and become what? And then I got 2 A's there and 2 more A's there for a total of 4 A's. Braden C. Minimally meeting expectations. And then, of course, I had 2/3 in the numerator and 1/3 in the denominator, right? So that means I had, up top, I had 1/3 and another 1/3, yes? So one of them, of course, cancels, right? Leaving me with 1/3. Now, if I write it like that, is it right for 4 out of 4? Yes. If I change it to this, is it still right for 4 out of 4? What if in the instructions I say, write it as a radical? Does this get you 4 out of 4? No, that gets you 3 out of 4. This gets you 4 out of 4. What if I said, write it in a power form or in exponential form? Does this get you 4 out of 4? Does this? Yes. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
All right. Now let's have a look at 10. We're going to work through 10 together because there's a bunch of different ways you could approach it. Okay?
Yes.
All right. What is something any one of you would like to do with number 10? Just something you would like to do right now to make it easier to work with. You want to put the power to everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means I would have 100 to the 1/2, yes? Okay. A to the 1/2. 25 to the 1/2. A to the 5 halves, right? Because 1/2 times 5. And B to the negative what? 2/4?
2 halves.
1/4. Is everybody happy with that? Now, I'm not going to say that's right or wrong, because it is right. It's something you could do, yeah? Okay. So now, what do we know about anything to the power of 1/2? It's a square root. So do we know the square root of 100? 10. Do we know the square root of 25? 5. But now we're screwed, right? Well, we can't do a square root of A because we don't know what A is. So we got to go to the exponents, don't we? What do I do with the 5 halves and the 1/2? I subtract. So it is 1/2 take away 5 halves. Negative 4 halves, which is negative 2. Now, where must that negative 2 exponent go? Up or down? Down. So I got A to the positive 2 because we moved it down there. And now, where does that B to the negative 1/4 have to go? Where does that B to the negative 1? It's got to go up. Am I done 4 out of 4? Am I done 4 out of 4? Yes, because I gave you no instructions except simplify. Am I done 4 out of 4 if I said write it as a radical? How do I make this a 4 out of 4 to get it as a radical? Addison.
You take the B and you put index 4 root B.
Yep. Over what? 5A squared. Am I done 4 out of 4? Look again. Amelia, am I done 4 out of 4? Why not? 2. 4th root B over A squared. Is everybody good? Okay. Now, here's a mistake that 99% of kids make every time. As soon as they see this, what do they start doing? They start substituting right now, yeah? Which means this would be negative 2 to the 3 halves, 3 squared, times negative 2 to the 1/2, 3 to the negative 1. Well, evaluate means you got to give me the answer, don't you? You want to give me that answer? What is the instruction that I give every single day? Starts with an S, ends with a Y, has implif in the middle of it. So let's simplify. What do I do with that X and that X? What's 3 halves and 1 half? X to the 4 halves, which is X squared. What do I do with Y and Y? So what do I get? Y to the 2 minus 1, which is Y. Wouldn't you rather deal with that than that? Because what is this become? Negative 2 squared times 3. What's negative 2 squared? Times 3. 12. And you did it all in your head. What's the moral of the story? If you have a substituting situation, what should you always try to do first? Simplify. What if you're faced with any math question? What should you try to do first? Right. What if you're faced with any problem in life? What should you try to do first? Simplify it. Break it down to the parts that you can deal with. Don't cry. Please do not cry, because then nothing will get done. All right, everybody ready? I will wait 2 minutes. There is a 5 gummy bear prize for the right answer here. Go. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I will wait. If you feel you have an answer, don't say it out loud. I will write it down. Braden, I have your name. Does anybody else think they have it? Amelia thinks they have it. You have 5 minutes.
You said 2 seconds ago.
Oh, two. It's a 5 gummy bear prize. You're down to 1 minute. Actually, you're not. Yeah, just go, Simrith. I got you 2. Yep. You gotta stop buying your chocolate milk there, man. It costs the earth. The store is still open. The gas station isn't.
You're going to buy a PlayStation 5. Oh, no.
Yep. Because you are going to work on page 45 and 46.
I do not have Advil. Because why do I need Advil? I don't have
Huh? No? You got it? Okay, you're down to about 10 more seconds. Da-ba-ba-da-ba-da. Does anybody else think they have it in this time? No. All right. First of all, is it evaluatable?
Yes.
Not if you've done it right, because it's a giant number. So you're not going to be able to give me a number. You're going to have to give me something to an exponent. Right?
Oh, wait, no, I got that.
So, what are my guesses? Braden, what do you have? Because I'll do it in order. Wait, that's not an answer. You're out. Amelia, what do you have? 2.
Yeah, I forgot to do that part. That's why I'm saying that.
Yes. What do you got, Jaden? X to the power of 48.
Are we supposed to substitute like the negative 2?
Chazri, what do you got? All right.
I need a calculator.
Jacqueline, what do you got? Okay. Gersil, what do you got?
I got x to the 12 bracket negative x 21 bracket.
Okay. Pardeep, what do you have? Okay. The answer is negative 2 to the 48th power. You said you had
Because I forgot to substitute, and then I substituted.
weight was the answer you had. So anybody that had x to the 48th, I would give you your gummy bears.
Where did the, I got 36.
No, you're a liar. Huh?
Where did the 36 go?
What 36?
Negative x to 36, and then you drop it down below.
No. Addison, what'd you have? I'm sorry, Addison, you did have an answer. Did you have one of these?
No.
Okay.
I have x to the fourth over x to the third.
Okay. Let's talk about y.
Why?
Because I didn't see that the number evaluate was the
Oh, yeah. Why would we talk about y? This is all about x's. Good one. This right here messes with kids' heads. Right? Right?
Yes.
Because this is negative x cubed how many times? 4 times, right? So this is negative x to the 12th, yes? Which is going to make it what? What will happen to that negative once I do this an even amount of times? Positive. Then I've got x to the 4th. What do I do there? Not times. X times. I'm going to have x to the 16th, yes? Because I have to add them, right? And all of that is then cubed to get x to the 48th. Then the negative has to come back because x is a negative 2. So to whom did I owe gummies? My friend Jaden. He got a 5 gummy bear prize. Anybody else? Well, maybe. There's lots of chances to win gummy bears coming up. There's 3 cahoots. Are we all good to go? Okay. It's 12:31. Class goes till 1 something. First chance at a gummy bear. Go.
Still one.
square root.
Square root. Who said it? Braden. Bad Braden.
It's the word root made it square.
Yeah. Now what if I did this? Ah, it would be cubed root. No. No.
How about I get gummy bears for Braden's answer because we have the same name.
Nobody got this all day. Muscan. Yeah, of course.
Above all,
No.
turn right into traffic.
Except that's a left. So, for the love of everything, do not go get your driver's license yet.
I'm getting my driver's license in 3 months.
I hope not, because you just said that was a right.
Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, I can give you a hint. It's got something to do with that symbol and those 3 words.
Wait, those are 4 words.
To be fair, there are 2 answers here. One is the one I wanted, and then some kid once gave me another one, and I was like, what are you saying, kid? And the kid explained it. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. And I gave him a gummy bear anyway.
Left plus above unlocked on top.
It is certainly left and something.
Left above on top.
It is left and something.
Left above.
Not left alone, but you're getting close.
Left together.
Left above.
Left by myself.
Left above.
Left out. Left out. I am so confused.
Left out.
What? No.
Left out.
Left. No. No. It's a saying or a word that you know.
Left down.
No. Huh? No.
Left hanging.
Left
Oh! I'm giving you one anyway. That's not right, but I'm giving you one. I like that. Left hanging. I like that. It's not what I wanted, but
Left upright.
no. Are you still guessing? You already got a gummy bear.
You can get multiple.
3, 2,
Lefty.
1.
Left.
Left
No.
up.
Left.
Left plus
Stop,
backwards.
stop. What are you all, if you celebrate it the way North Americans celebrate it, what are you all going to be enjoying for the entire week after Thanksgiving?
Leftovers.
Leftovers. Those are all things of being over.
Oh, I get it.
But I also, now are you ready to hear what the other kid did? He said, and remember, they're all yelling answers like this. And he was sitting right there, and he looked me right in the face and said, turnips! And I was like, what? Because everybody was like, left, left, left. And this kid, and he, turnips! And I was like, what the, get it? Turn. These are all up. Turn-ups. Turnips. That's okay, I'm still recording.
Turn-ups.
It's not like anybody watches my videos. Pair of pants. Simrith. Pair of pants. Oh, did you? Okay, well then Emma can have it. Way to be honest, Simrith. Simrith, you can have a gummy bear for being honest. And lastly,
Pants. Pants.
Stance.
Stay for one.
no.
Stay for ever. What is that last one? Stay for.
Oh, that, here, let me make that easier for you.
What?
Stay.
The color doesn't matter.
Stand.
Stay for.
Stand for. Stand for.
State
Staff.
force.
Staff.
State Farm is here.
Like a good neighbor.
Stay fun. Stay.
Foreign.
Minecraft. Are you all in grade 4?
Minecraft is my favorite game.
I know it is.
How'd you
Huh?
know?
Stafford.
You live at my
No.
house.
For instance.
For instance.
That makes no.
For instance.
Oh.
Emma. Well done.
Do I have to be foreign?
All right. Okay, if you have your phone, you may get it out.